beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creator Spotlight. I am Stella, your host, and I welcome you here to listen to amazing stories from my guests. These are people who transformed their lives and now decided to help other people transform their lives too. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe to our channel, watch this video, like it, and let us know your thoughts. Today we have with us the amazing Sahar. She is a skilled acupuncture practitioner with over 20 years experience in holistic healthcare. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to our episode.
Hello, what a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to learn about all the amazing things that you are using in your practice because they're all so vast and with so much knowledge and wisdom. And I would love to ask you, how did you know this? You know what? This is my path. I want to be of service. Was there a particular moment in your life when you decided that, or did that come gradually to you?
That's a really good question. So when I was 19, so I'm 43 now, do the maths. So when I was 19, I found myself being interested in becoming a paramedic. And this is back in Iran, so it was done differently. So I took myself on a course, did my hospital placements, etc. And it was a path that I really enjoyed, but very early on in the career, and maybe because I was quite young, I realized it's not good for my mental health. So I just kissed that chapter goodbye, and I just admire the people that do it now because you need to be a particular type of person with so much inner strength. So that was at that time, I left that behind. And then we migrated here to England. And then that's where my career path just changed. Um, when you migrate, I don't know if you can relate to this. Some of the noise just clears from your head and it gets replaced with other stuff. Your focus becomes more and you become more connected with yourself. It's a really interesting feeling. I can't describe it. I don't know if it's because you're away from family, or I don't know what it is, but you become so focused on your career path to make everything work because it's a difficult thing to migrate. And I just listened to, for the first time, I thought, what do I actually want to do? um, so I had to retake my A levels at college. And one day I thought, I saw these books on the shelves about beauty therapy sciences. I thought, what is this? And I thought, oh, facial. So instead of studying for chemistry, I was reading about all the skin stuff and I was so fascinated by it. I came home and I said to my parents, I was like, I don't want to do my A levels. I want to do this. And I went to a beauty clinic at the time, which was just where I was living. And I said to her, what do I need to do to become you? And she said, oh, you need to study beauty therapy, blah, blah. Long story short, I got into beauty therapy. And through that, we were lucky enough. We had someone, an aromatherapist, come in, and she was talking about the wonders of acupuncture. And I remembered that my mum had a lot of acupuncture when we were in Iran. And because traditional Persian medicine kind of like aligns with traditional Chinese medicine. And I thought, that's interesting. As she was talking, I was thinking, this is kind of like me revisiting being a paramedic, but without witnessing anyone dying. And it actually really relates to something that I'm really passionate about. So anyway, I just parked that thought and I finished beauty therapy. And when that finished, it wasn't the immediate thing I went to. After a whole year, I decided with guidance, I thought, right, this is it. I need to study it. And that was it.
Yeah, and then you just followed all these signs and you followed like all of this inner curiosity as well. And yes, I can totally relate when you move from one country to another. It's like everything restarts. You have to do a full reset from a blank page, and there is no hiding anymore. You just have to be really honest and truthful to who you are, because I think, especially in a new place, new country, new culture, if you don't honor those things, then you you can very easily get lost, at least, from my experience. So it's like you're there, you have to focus on what you're actually passionate about, because that's how you can then find the strength to keep going, because and then that's how you connect with other people too. And you're doing absolutely amazing now, and I'm very grateful we are connected. I
Thank you.
also know that you're the creator of a unique method of therapy, which is aroma AQ therapy. Do you want to share more about this, and how did you come up with this?
So thank you. So because of my experience, my qualification as a beauty therapist, I also became an aromatherapist. So I've got a diploma in aromatherapy, and I've been very lucky to be able to combine both passions of the that world with acupuncture. And I'm creating a very holistic treatment, which is not just combining ancient wisdom with modern, viewpoints. I'm just connecting them all together. So I thought, well, it's aromatherapy acupuncture treatment, and I just came up with the method. So it's a very unique method where I make a special blend for my patients that sets the tone for the day. I do affirmations, and then I apply the aromatherapy on their acupuncture points before their treatments. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, what is something special, unique, and powerful that is being created from this combination of aromatherapy and acupuncture?
So, for example, if someone comes in for, let's say, someone comes in for pain relief, let's say they've got endometriosis, everything is really rooted in emotional stress. Even if you suffer from pain, let's say knee pain, joint pain, something from trauma, it creates that stress loop. So everything from my practical clinical experience is rooted in some kind of stress. So when I apply the aromatherapy, it just resets the nervous system. This is all, luckily, we live in a day and age where it's all scientifically proven. And so I'm just giving their body a warm up with the aromatherapy, and then with the acupuncture, the main exercise. And then after it finishes, we do a cool down with an affirmation. That's why it makes it unique. It's a very holistic twist on traditional medicine. That's how I see it.
And it brings your personality forward too. Knowing
Thanks.
you, I can totally say that. So once you decided to embrace this path and you knew that is you, that is like no going back from here, what kind of reactions or messages did you start receiving from your family?
Do you know, Stella, I've been very blessed and lucky. I praise the Lord that I have been very lucky to have a supportive family. And where from a type of family background where if something makes sense, then why not go for it? So yeah, I had a lot of support. So it was the best thing. Yeah.
It
Good
really
feeling.
helps, doesn't it? It really
Yeah.
helps because it kind of makes you say, well, I'm just going to continue on my path. And I know from what I do as well, working with intuition so much, even when people around us don't necessarily understand exactly what we do, but even when they say, well, I don't know exactly what that means, but if it makes you happy, then that's all that matters. And I value this so much. And I think this is a beautiful gift to just know that you are supported
Yeah.
by people in
Thank you.
your life. Um, so with all of this support, it really helped you move forward and practice and connect with people. But of course, we know that every journey comes with ups and downs. So if you were to think about some of your biggest challenges in embracing this path, what were those challenges and how did you find your own way to overcome them?
Mm. So it wasn't like something that happened overnight. Obviously, my path was from the journey of migrating here and slowly, one step at a time, through that journey in my 20s. I would say the struggles were, even though I was brought up in Australia, so like a Western world, I then had a big chunk of my life in a very traditional upbringing, um, Middle Eastern upbringing. So when we came here, it's like a Western world, but totally different to all those two backgrounds that I had. So the challenge was kind of adapting, I would say, uh, adapting to adulthood in a different environment that you're not used to. And I think if I didn't have my immediate family here, I would have really struggled. So I really admire people that do it alone. They come alone and they just go through changing their lives around, and it's hard. It's not easy. So that was the struggle. But another thing I think with regards to struggles would be my uni days. I decided not to move. So I decided to just train it every day. So I would get up at like 5 a.m. and then I'd get home at midnight. So I don't know how I survived, to be very honest. Um, but yeah, it happened, and it was a family affair. Like my brother would wake up and he would, bless him, drive me to the train station, and then either I get a taxi on the way back. If I was lucky, if there was taxis at the time, I'd find my way home. And so they were the struggles when I think about it, but they were good because there was a purpose behind it, if that makes sense.
Mm.
I hope I've answered your question. That's what
Yeah.
immediately came to my mind. It was the
Yeah.
journey of making it
Yes.
happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you were to think about all of these beautiful sessions that you've had with your clients, now that you continue to just improve everything, because as we go through life, we constantly improve things. What would you say are the biggest beautiful messages that you receive from your clients, like the happiest, the more joyful? What is something that almost every one of your client tells you once they come to your place?
One of the main things that most of my patients get up and say after a treatment, first of all, they don't want to get off of the bed. And secondly, it's that, oh, I feel light. I feel like the weight has come off my shoulders. I feel connected with myself again. It's just so nice to see. I feel I shed a tear with my patients as they shed the tear as well. It's I know the feeling because I've lost myself.
Mm,
And it's, if it wasn't because of my job, I wouldn't have understood what they're going through. So yeah, that's the best thing that I hear.
mm. Isn't this fascinating how, in order for us to understand what calm is or love is or whatever other things we are learning in this lifetime, we first go through our own struggles and our own
Mm.
challenges. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I had a very big depressive moment and I had no idea what to do. I wanted to just close doors and windows and do nothing, until I had to find my own strategy, if you wish, to get out of that
Mm.
space. And it's so interesting how you say, I know what that feels like when you feel lost. And then, when you see these people telling you these things that they feel happier, it is a beautiful moment for sure. So I know that you're also offering to people something that's called heartbreak treatment. What is that?
um, so this treatment was developed, I don't know, I think over maybe 7, 8 years ago, through my own personal experience. I'm so fascinated with my job. It's like my job is my passion as well. So I'm always continuously just researching and trying to see what these ancient methods, like the Chinese thousands of years ago, what were they on about, and how I can relate it to modern, situations. And so I was in a relationship where it wasn't going well. And I had had enough of heartbreak at the time. And I thought, let me just do a little experiment. So I thought, if I find some acupuncture points that are meant to heal the heart in any situation, um, if I strategically place them together and do some treatments, I wonder how it will make me feel afterwards. Because acupuncture makes you feel good anyway, whether you like it or not, because it helps produce endorphins, and it gives you a dopamine hit. And so I started doing this treatment for myself, and I felt quite strong. And I think it was after 3 weeks that I was doing this treatment for myself. And I just plucked up the courage and I broke off a relationship that wasn't serving me. It wasn't a healthy relationship for either of us. And I, as a natural response, I shed a tear, but that was it. I moved on. And I fascinated myself. I was like, damn. So I started telling my patients about it. And you'd be surprised to learn that a lot of people are walking around with heartbreak. So slowly they were like, I know someone that's got heartbreak. I've got heartbreak. And it started off like that. So I started doing the protocol for them. And what was beautiful was I realized with the treatment, because it connects you with yourself again, some of the people were actually getting back together rather than breaking up, which was
Mm.
actually a very beautiful thing to see, because they had more clarity in their mind of what they want out of a relationship. And then when I was in London, one of my patients was a journalist, and it just grabbed her attention. And so she made a deal about it, and she said, we got to publish about this. So it was published in the Woman's Health magazine. It was a proud moment. I was like, what? So yeah, it was that's how it just came about, really.
It is a big deal because like when you go through those moments, there is nothing that would just feel like you put a patch on and the pain is gone. But when you have a method that worked for you and you tested it for weeks and you know it works for you, then this is fascinating that you can give to others too. And also, what a beautiful facilitator uh, you are, because that, the fact that you said some people chose to break up after that, others they would reconnect, that just shows that you facilitated the space, and then whatever was meant to happen from there, it happened. And that's a really, really precious gift to offer to your clients. This is something that you then take with you everywhere you go. So, for example, if you're somewhere on holiday and you like talk to people, what kind of stories usually find you? Because I know that with different professions or different kinds of jobs and businesses, because you take that with you everywhere, there will always be someone sharing a story that'll be like for you to answer or to hold the space for. So what kind of things
That's
usually
so
come to you?
it actually makes me laugh, because the first thing they say, oh, I've tried it, I don't like needles, and or oh, I've tried it, it was amazing. It's either one. And or oh, is it all about pins? Um, and mostly, this is the interesting part, is that people, it's all about raising awareness. I see it as an opportunity, because I'm not going to see those people again. I raise awareness of what to look for, what the profession is actually about, because just like many titles out there, professional titles, acupuncture in the UK is not a protected title. And as a member of the British Acupuncture Council, I know for a fact that we are working hard to make it official. The good thing is that it has passed some kind of, I don't know the ins and outs of it properly, but it has passed some kind of legislation to make us stand out enough for NHS to recommend us as the only properly qualified acupuncturist. And also the Professional Standards Authority recognizes us as people, practitioners who hold qualifications. Now, the issue now, it links to when people say to me, oh, I've tried it. I ask them, who did your treatment? Was it an actual acupuncturist? Or was it a physio, a chiropractor, a massage therapist? Who was it? And they normally say, oh, yeah, my physio, my doctor did it. And I say, did you know their qualifications? No, they just said they offered acupuncture. And I'm like, well, now I have to explain. They do a weekend course. That's not acupuncture. I mean, it's flattering because, acupuncture works, but then they've labeled it Western medicine, acupuncture or dry needling. And I always say, it's like, would you go to a dentist that has done a weekend course? If you realized that your hairdresser's done a dental course, would you want to really have your teeth done with them. Do you know what I mean? It's one of
Yeah.
those things. Originally, if I'm being very honest, I just like being transparent. All of the acupuncturists who did a proper acupuncture course, it was an ego thing. Like, how dare they take our, profession? Then I'm thinking, actually, anything that works to relieve pain for someone is great. Let's say, even if in the wrong hands, they know the anatomy. Let's say they, by coincidence, help release something. Why not? I'm all for it. But I truly feel awareness needs to be raised, and I really want the model that's being practiced in America to come to England, and to stop anyone that doesn't have actual qualifications to be able to practice, really. So yeah, I took that to a whole different campaign, didn't I? You're answering your question.
No, I love that you mentioned all of these things because it makes absolute sense. And you mentioned there are some terms like dry needle and acupuncture. Are there any, like, are there different types of acupuncture for, to everyone who's watching us? If they're thinking, okay, you mentioned that, is there something else to it?
There are definitely many types. So there's the traditional Chinese acupuncture, there's a Japanese acupuncture, there's even Persian acupuncture. Um, it's all rooted from Chinese medicine, though. But there's labels for those who haven't done the actual degree, the actual learnings. There's It's not just about if you've got back pain, there's a point here and let's needle it. We won't treat the same treatment for, let's say, two people with exactly the same back pain. That's not how it works, you
Mm.
know, to get the most effective treatment. So they've kind of like labeled it dry needling. There's no such thing as wet needling, but they've
Yeah.
labeled it as dry needling, or Western acupuncture, uh, whereas it's the wrong terminology, because acupuncture has now been scientifically proven to work with our nervous system and our blood circulation, something that the Chinese knew thousands of years ago, and I do not want to know how they knew it. I don't know what they've been up to understand, you know, how the body works so amazingly. So yeah, that's there are different types, yeah.
So if there is someone, for example, who has a back pain and they think like, well, it's just, it hurts, and they have a choice between going for a session or more sessions of massage or acupuncture, what kind of questions should they ask themselves to know which one is best for them?
Okay, that's a good question. Do I want a pampering treat? Because some people just like the touch. I love massages, mm, but it's not going to go down to the root of your back issue. Sometimes massage can even make it worse, depending if it's like a deep sports massage or something like that. Um, because you don't need that when you're in a pain. When pain, there's inflammation. So with the massage manually on that spot, you're creating more inflammation on top of it. Yes, of course it can work. I'm not diminishing
Yeah,
effects of massage, because I'm also a qualified massage therapist. So I'm not diminishing, the
yeah.
positive effects. Um, you've got to ask yourself, what do I want? But a lot of people don't know, because there's not awareness. There's not awareness of alternatives. What can I have to help with my back pain? You see, with the acupuncture, with my method, there will be points, there's switches, like there's switches on the wall for the light bulb on the ceiling. Let's say the light bulb is your back pain. I need to find where the switch is on the wall. Normally it's on the ankle, on the wrists, yeah, which connects to a particular nerve ending, which sends a message to your brain to rush blood and all the natural painkillers to your back. Yeah. So if you do that from the root, then a couple of days after, why not go for a nice massage? So you're treating from the inside out in a way. But with my method, I do something also on the top of the back, which is called moxotherapy. So it's using a special herb, which is mugwort, and you light that up, and the smoke from that helps heal it from the outside. So it's inside out treatment.
Oh, I could listen to this for for ages because
It's
it sounds
fascinating, right?
it sounds fascinating for sure. So then they can also choose both, right? Like you said, they can
Yeah.
have the, yeah, if that's works for them. But that what you shared in terms of what they can ask themselves, that's really helpful because I'm sure if anyone is watching us, and to all of you beautiful viewers, if you've watched up until this point, that means this subject is interesting for you. Make sure you're checking the description of this video to know how you can connect with my beautiful guest and myself. And I just wanted to ask you about one more thing, because I know you're also a founder of another method which has the three P's in it. So PPP method, what is that about?
So I call it the triple P method. And it came about when I was working in London. I was working on Harley Street and I had a lot of international patients. And so they wouldn't be able to see me regularly. So we developed this thing. It didn't have the name at the time. We developed this thing where we'd do Skype when they're not here, and I would show them acupressure points, and we'd be like, right, let's press, pulsate, you know, and we would just continue stimulating the brain to carry out those functions that we want it to, let's say for their anxiety, even IVF, even I helped a lot of people with pain relief via doing that method, and it just keeps the momentum until I see them next. And so then lockdown happened, and then I started doing this method more via WhatsApp videos for my family and friends. And then I thought, hang on, I'm onto something here, because I'm like helping people cure, like I can use that word safely here because it's happened, back pain, like they haven't had back pain before. Or because I've said to them, like, it's my sister, I'm like, I don't know, I've tried this before, but in a clinic practice with needles. Let's see if it works. So we then got creative. Let's use the back of a toothbrush. Let's do this. And then I started using particular patches with little dots on them that would actually stimulate the nerve ending. And I got really good results. So it's been a continuing thing that I offer my patients as aftercare. So when they see me at clinic, I say, right, this is your homework until I see you next. You got to press on this point, triple P method, until I see you next. And it's like, it's a type of self-care that makes you feel empowered. I'm in control of my health. So yeah, that's
And
right.
and you keep them accountable as well, because we all
Yeah,
know
100%. Yeah.
accountability. Accountability is absolutely huge. So, as we're wrapping up this episode, if there was one thing that you could share with our viewers, particularly to those who think, well, I feel like I'm not having the best communication with my body. Where do I start from? How can I start to connect with my body more, to learn about these points before they may choose to connect with you and even have some of your services. And I know that you're working on some other exciting projects as well, but everyone can find that out in the description of this video. But to those who feel like they struggle to connect with their body, to create a good communication with their body, what would you advise?
I would say right this moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath in the nose, and ask yourself, am I taking good care of myself? Am I doing myself justice? What is my purpose in this world? Am I doing myself justice to carry me throughout my journey? That's the question I would say ask yourself. Whether you choose acupuncture, whatever you choose to do, even if it's meditation, put on a YouTube video and watch a meditation, you know, a guidance video. Are you taking care of yourself? That's what I did with myself. Like I was verge of burnout.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's a beautiful advice. Thank you so much for being with us here
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful wisdom and knowledge, and suggesting us exercises that all of us can use and do. To everyone who's watching us, thank you for being here with us. Let us know your thoughts, like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.